Welcome to the second chapter of this Out of Place series. We will go today over the preseason transfers, have a small view upon the oncoming fixtures that start the season. Let's start with the transfers. I sold first Zlatko Junusovic, not because I thought he was surplus or because he had become unhappy at rejecting any offer. I chose to accept Real Sociedad's offer when they came asking for him, because that would mean I'd have some money in the budget to deal in transfers and bring in players I needed to reinforce other positions. After that, I could bring two players that I needed. The first was Maza, a centre back with the stats, the minimum attributes I wanted for a centre back player, namely good jumping reach, good strength, marking, tackling, positioning, and anticipation mainly. Also, good bravery. I couldn't find any like this with better decision making or acceleration, so I had to settle with him. And a new goalkeeper, Morgan De Sanctis, that was cheap for his high quality because he is old. But I think he improves quite a bit the goalkeepers I had in the squad before. Then I received a big offer for El Hierro Elia from Liverpool. Initially, Elia is a player I wanted to keep at the club, but seeing as Liverpool is much higher reputation than us, I thought Elia would be unhappy if I rejected the offer, so I asked them for a little more to the 11 million that they start, 11.5 million they started offering, and I got 3 million more in 24 months, I think. So I don't have an unhappy player, and with that money I could bring some players in his place and other places for much less. And with the money I brought for 2.3 million euros, Jan Slaudraff as his replacement in the left wing, as he is fast and has good dribbling. I had another choice, another option, I don't remember right now, I will. Yeah, this guy is the other option. He's not as fast, but his mentals are much better, though his finishing is not very good. But he will cost me almost as much as I got from Elia and prevented me from offering to make offers for players for other positions I needed to strengthen. You can see slow draft has lesser concentration, bravery, aggression, off the ball, work rate, and teamwork. The other the other purchase was for 3 million Alessandro Gazzi. I bought him as a third choice centre back, as I couldn't find anything better than him or another natural centre back who is not better than him and who jumped even lower than Alessandro Gazzi can do. Heading is not very high, but I don't really care much about the heading in centre backs. I know the heading may influence that sometimes if the header is lower, I may get a few more own goals from a bad header or headers being cleared into the feet of opposition players. But I don't think the chances of that are so high as to be, as to be significant in the end of the season. And finally, I received an offer of 11.25 million for Franco Di Santo. I thought him not very sure why, because probably I will check it now. Yes, Wolfsburg has a continental reputation which is quite higher to Werder Bremen, I think. Indeed, Werder Bremen is national, Wolfsburg continental. I expected the Santo to get angry at me rejecting the offer, and it was not a bad offer at all. So I accepted it and then went out to search for strikers. And this is the guy that I found, Emanuele Menique. Very good finishing, very fast and not poor in the air, even though that is the weakest area of game according to the scouts. Steinwork is the worst of all, which I'm not sure I dislike much or not. On one hand, there is many times that I've seen a player striker giving up a very good chance because he, instead of passing to a better positioned player, he shot and missed a harder shot than his teammate could have had. But then again, I've also seen a lot of instances in which a striker that is alone or almost alone in the opposition area where scoring a goal is very easy, send the ball back to another play build up, ruining an almost sure goal. So we'll see what happens with him and his performances. Like so, then in the end, we have got in 30.5 million euros, and we paid a total of 28.47 euros, counting the two transfers that were already agreed before I took control of the team, that were that of Santiago Garcia and Finn Bartels. This signing is not mine. I think I didn't do this. This was done by the previous manager. Let's see now the fixtures. As you can see, we had 6 friendly matches. We started poorly with the 4-5-1 that I tend to favor. I'm not that much unhappy about the Chelsea game because from seeing it, we were on level with them, and they are clearly, I think, a much better side than us. So we fought in equal terms. Only a few less shots and shots on target, greater more possession. We did create some good chances that were missed, and the chances that Chelsea converted weren't much better than the ones we had. The difference was that they converted them, we didn't. The only really poor performance was that against CA Bastia, which are at third level of French football. We were unable to score any goal. We only had 4 shots on target out of 11 that weren't that many from long range. I think 3 long shots out of 11. Not that long shots are per se bad, but are less likely to be clear chances that of the kind that should be scored. So of course there are chances from long range that should be scored, and chances from short range that shouldn't be scored. Of course, not it's the difficulty of a shot is not always or not necessarily directly proportional to the distance from goal. So those 3 matches with the 4-5-1 were pretty disappointing, especially the last. The Chelsea, as I said, is not really that disappointing. And Nancy is a League One side, but not winning against Bastia was a very poor performance. Then against Vouvet, we changed from the 4-5-1 to the 4-2-3-1. That worked very well. Vouvet, though, is still a third level of French football team, so that's not very meaningful. What is more meaningful is that we didn't get too many times in the opposition area. Now, when we arrived, we generally got in positions good enough that most of them were shots on target. Then against the Lens, I changed to a 4-4-2, and a formation that, as I said previously, is not one I tend to be comfortable with, and that has rarely worked for me except for that Torino save during half season. But for some reason I felt this team looks very suited for that formation. So it will be one of the three that will be trained during the season. Then finally for the cup game that was against Alt Ludersdorf, out of the division slotted, that we won comfortably by 5-0, creating a lot of shots and many of them on target, which was a good performance. But then again, such a weak team is not very meaningful. So this means that maybe I will be using as main formation the 4-2-3-1 with secondary formation 4-4-2, and sometimes from time to time I will try to improve upon the 4-5-1. Now we'll move on to the season, and we see that it begins with a hard game against Borussia Dortmund, a team that should be clearly superior to us. And of which at this date we still have not a scout report of. So I don't know, perhaps instead of the two formations that so far it seems to have worked well, the 4-4-2 against a League One side that is Lens, or perhaps I will be doing the 4-5-1 that has been disappointing during the preseason with a little touches, of course. I can be sending that formation out against Dortmund that didn't do the work against Chelsea, even if we looked on equal terms. That didn't make it up. That fight defensively against Nancy, they are also a leg inside, and that fired miserably against Bastia. So this will be everything for this chapter. Like, comment and subscribe if you feel like you want to do that. And don't if you don't. Goodbye.